Okay, my friends, we are live. Today is February 6th, 2025. And according to the mystical, magical, powerful Dreamspell calendar oracle, today is what's known as the White Rhythmic Wizard. So we're going to go through that, and it might sound woo-woo and it might sound awesome, but however you perceive it, I can promise you that it holds keys, because everything in life moves through cyclical energy. And just the same way that we track the weather report, we can track the energy report. This is what the Mayans were masters at. And now through this system, we have some modern language and interpretation to understand what the energy in the field is. And the more that we can connect into the energy of the field, the more that we can actually work in flow with the universe, with the energies, and understand what is coming through both around us and through us. So today we are going to look at the White Rhythmic Wizard. And if you happen to have been born on a day of the White Rhythmic Wizard, then this also is a bit of a reading for who you are as an energetic blueprint. So I'm going to start by reading the affirmation, and then I will read the contemplation for the day, and then just break it down just a little bit. So the White Rhythmic Wizard says that oh, hang on a minute. Let me make sure I get the right one here. Here we go. Okay, I got it. We organize in order to enchant, balancing receptivity. We seal the output of timelessness with the rhythmic tone of equality, and we are guided by our own power doubled. So let's break that down, because that sounds pretty cool. I always like to start with a quote. So today is from Richard Bach, and he says, "To bring anything into your life, imagine that it is already there." All right, let's get into it. Life is energy, and there is a coherent rhythm in how energy moves and operates. Our body is comprised of over 50 trillion cells, and inside of each one is essentially empty space. And that is the source energy from which all of life is created. So we cannot see the energy, and that's why it looks empty, but we can measure it to know things like frequency, vibration, amplitude, and power. And it's like watching a colony of ants or bees. To the untrained eye, seeing how the cells interact with each other may look as if they are all in a state of chaos. However, the reality is that there is a profoundly proficient organization of how they rhythmically work together. After all, there would have to be, considering the balanced output of their coherence is the creation and sustained operable existence of every single aspect of our physical body and physical world. So the energy that powers the cells, like all energy, can never die. It can only be transformed. Therefore, we can understand how source energy is eternal and infinite. Furthermore, the White Rhythmic Wizard reminds us that we are in a state of divine receivership, with our enchanting ability to choose how we utilize the energy that comes through, which includes taking negative energy and transmuting it to work with us in a beneficial manner. It is through the power of our mind that we can steward the energy, with our belief and intention acting as the bridge for the eternal energy into the physical world, and vice versa. So without the processing ability of our mind, the physical body would be consciousless form, and the source energy would be formless consciousness. The incredible takeaway from this is that as the stewards of our mind and body, we are like wizards. We're able to direct and organize energy in the manner that we choose in order to create what we intend in this life. And like anything, it takes practice. But the most important part is for us to maintain the unwavering knowing that we are capable of literally creating the life of our dreams. So that's today. That's pretty good. That's what the wizard is about. So the wizard has a power of timelessness. It's beyond time. And what we create, the energy that we bring forth, really, the energy is present, the infinite energy, that source energy, the cannot be created or destroyed energy, the permeating through every single aspect of our body and creating the entirety of existence energy, that energy, as it comes into physical form and it becomes more focused, it's how it actually creates what we experience. And so us as the drivers of the conscious energy, it's the energy that is, but we actually have the awareness and the consciousness to direct the energy into particular focuses. Part of it is happening without our contribution. Our bones and our blood and our muscles are being created without us having to think about it. But anything that we want to create in life, anything we want to bring into form, requires a focus of energy. If you want to make a sandwich, you have to decide, I'm going to make this sandwich. If you want to build a company, if you want to have a relationship, anything that you want to bring forth, any of the desires, dreams, intentions, and we're equipped with all of the tools necessary to be able to do it. Now, the rhythmic wizard is the one that's about organization. And so as you can hear in the affirmation, it says that we organize in order to enchant. I love that because there's something about the blank canvas. When we come from the aspect of the creator, that there's an opportunity of enchantment is like, it's magic, it's manifestation, it's playful, it's joy. And that's what we get to bring forth actually into the world. And so as we organize, we're not just getting together like, well, let me put my pens here and my papers and my ideas, but we're also organizing our thoughts, we're organizing our emotions, we're organizing the different aspects of ourselves all together to be able to have that focused, directed, coherent energy stream that moves into the creation of the form of physical reality that it is we desire, that is born from the intention. And so the balancing receptivity is we organize in order to enchant balancing receptivity. So we're going to be receiving some cues and some responses from the external world, and those are helpful, but they're also just mirroring what we are putting forward. So you got to balance, what am I receiving from spirit, from soul, from source, from energy, from God, from the field, from self? And so receiving from there to move outwards, but we're also going to be receiving feedback from the external, internal. So we don't want to deny that completely. We don't want to be enslaved to the external because it's just the projection that we're reflecting to ourselves. But we also want to balance. We can push forward and just say, well, this is what's coming through, and this is my intention, and this is my desire, and this is my mission. This is my intuition. This is what I'm being called to do, and be laser focused. And maybe that works. You know, that could be if you're incredibly deeply aligned. And sometimes we'll experience things when we create into the world, and what reflects back to us, it's a little bit of a distortion. It's just kind of not working the way we desire. And maybe that's what we need for us to learn, to evolve, to grow, to expand. Maybe it's telling us that our measurement's off a little bit. Maybe there's something a little bit out of alignment. Maybe there's an alignment with our purpose. Maybe we're bringing some fear into it. Maybe we're bringing some ego into it. Maybe we have some ulterior motives that are bleeding into it. Maybe we have some limiting beliefs that are leading into it, because if that's what we put out, then that is what's actually going to be created. If you think about, if you wanted to get a job and you go in, you're like, I mean, I'd really like this, and gosh, it would really help, and I think I could do it. Like, that doesn't really exude confidence. If you're going to go up and speak to somebody that you don't want to meet, and you're like, oh, I was just wondering maybe if you wanted to talk or something, that's not going to work. Because you have that limiting belief. And so the reflection you're going to get is that maybe we're not interested. And you think, oh gosh, that person didn't like me. That job wasn't for me. Maybe that's not true. Maybe you were just exuding the wounded aspect of yourself, and that's what was being reflected to you. So it's not that the person wasn't the right person necessarily, or the job wasn't the right job necessarily, but maybe it was the way that you were bringing forth yourself, your intention, your joy, your beauty, your authenticity, and your truth. And so the wizard is here to remind us, in part, the timelessness of life, that we don't have to have all that pressure. Obviously there's certain things that we have in finite time, and we have schedules, and we have bills, and we have deadlines, and we have mortgage payments and rent and groceries and things that ask for us to be able to meet them at a very specific particular time. But also, so much of the pressure that we put onto ourselves is what ends up creating the distortions in what we create. The old saying says, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's a good one. It's a good saying. It does take time. Honor and trust yourself, and recognize that you are putting down the groundwork. You are building the foundation. Every step that you take is a step in the direction of you actually realizing and manifesting and creating and bringing into form what it is that you desire. And so finding the balance between all of that is very important. You can go full sprints and be working a ton, or you could pull back completely and just want to be and meditate all day. And there's times for both, of course, but depending on how you want to live in the world. If you're going to live in this consumption matrix, and you want to drive a car, and you want to live in a house, and you want to travel, and you want to eat healthy food, and you want to have these things to pay for, and you don't want to go live in a yurt or in a cave or in a nice little hut in Bali. All of those things could be beautiful, but you want to live in this matrix, and there's certain things you need to adhere to. But you also have to balance that out with being able to come back to self, to your being, allow the being to create the doing. And so that's the rhythmic energy of this withered. That's the rhythmic energy of the wizard. And also worth noting that the Wavespell that we are in, that is the mission of what we are doing in the mission. And now this is day 6 of the mission of the red moon. It's about finding flow. Be like water. Bruce Lee embodied the red moon of the flow and purification. So things are also going to come up, as we flush the pipes. Some ickiness is going to come up. That's okay. Might feel a little bit uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to look at it. Don't be afraid to address it. It's all part of you. It's all within you. It's all within your consciousness. If you have any questions about the white rhythmic wizard or anything else Dreamspell related, you can leave a comment and I will be sure to address them. Otherwise, have a beautiful, expansive, loving, creative, joyful day if you want it. See you later.